All right. Welcome, everybody, to week 2 of the Fearless Immunity Masterclass. I'm wondering if you guys, I was having a little bit of sound issues. Can everybody hear me okay? Is there any feedback? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Are we good? Well, I'll take that as yes. Nobody's complained quite yet. So, awesome. So week 2 of the Fearless Immunity Masterclass, strengthening your natural defenses. Glad it sounds good. Got some good feedback. Last week we talked, it was called Introduction to the 5 Essentials. It was awesome. If you missed it, go back to my Dr. Jake Shupe YouTube channel. Go back to the Freedom Family Chiropractic Facebook page. Make sure you watch it. It's a foundational class covering all 5 of the essentials. This week, viruses. So you may have heard a thing or two about viruses this year in 2020. You're going to hear even more about it. And I'm excited with what I have to share with you guys this evening. Last week, I got to share a little bit about my story, about how I became a chiropractor and how I got into doing this and kind of the why behind being a max living chiropractor. I mean, it's helped transform my health. It's helped transform my mom's health, my dad's health, my bride's health. My mom overcame headaches and came off anxiety medication. My dad overcame plantar fasciitis and came off his blood pressure medications and lost weight. My wife overcame debilitating anxiety and panic attacks. One thing I did not mention to you last week is how chiropractic has helped me overcome a lifetime of childhood allergy problems. My birthday present from my grandma every year as a kid was her taking me to the doctor to get a 3-month supply of Claritin and Flonase. And it wasn't until I went to a chiropractor on a regular basis that I was able to completely overcome my allergy issues. So I wanted to fill you in on that part of it because I forgot to add that in last week. And not only has it helped transform my health, but it's helped transform thousands and thousands of patients that have come into our office over the last 5.5 years. My wife, Dr. Christy, and I have been running Freedom Family Chiropractic, Max Living Health Center for 5.5 years, and the testimonials have just been amazing, and it's really what keeps us going. And it's why we're so dedicated to continually educating and equipping you with great content and great health information like we have to share with you guys this evening. So I want to just recap a little bit about last week. So we talked about the 5 essentials. Again, if you didn't watch it, go back, make sure you watch it. And this is last week was the first week of a 6-week masterclass. And if you complete all 6 of the classes, watch all 6 of them, you will get a masterclass certificate of completion, along with, we made these awesome warrior patient t-shirts that you'll get for going through all 6 of the courses. So we encourage you, if you're on, say hi, let us know. We'd love to hear your feedback in the chat section or on the comments. And also throughout the class tonight, we want to hear, what are your takeaways? What are you learning? What are some of your action steps that you're going to be putting into place? Because knowledge without action is meaningless. Nobody gets healthier without putting the knowledge to work. So we'd love to hear your feedback. Plus, it's helping us track attendance for the certificates of completion. Last week, we talked about the 5 essentials. I'm going to recap those because repetition ingrains things into memory. So the 5 essentials are core chiropractic, nutrition, mindset, oxygen and exercise, and minimizing toxins. This is a complete healthcare delivery system that is part of the vitalistic model, or what we talked about last week as the health model. Because last week, the other thing we talked about that was probably my favorite thing was the disease model versus the health model. I'm not going to re-explain it, but go back to week 1 and you'll get the goods there. So that was the recap from last week. We're going to go right into this week's topic. And let me get that off my screen there. I want to talk about the germ theory. So we chiropractors love talking about the germ theory. This is the current accepted theory of how diseases happen, basically. And so the germ theory states is that these microorganisms that are too small to be seen, these small microorganisms, they invade a host and they are what cause you to be sick. And you know that on the surface that may seem accurate. That may seem, well, that sounds pretty legit, right? Here's the problem. I don't subscribe to the germ theory as a whole because it's correlation is not causation. And just to shed some light on this, I want to show you the next slide from the founder of chiropractic, Dr. D.D. Palmer. He delivered the first chiropractic adjustment in 1895. And in fact, he adjusted a deaf man named Harvey Lillard, who, when he was adjusted, completely restored his healing, which is awesome. Anyways, so in Davenport, Iowa, D.D. Palmer, founder of chiropractic, he asked this. Not only was he a practitioner, not only was he educated in the science, but he was a philosopher too. So he thought about things, and he said this. I'm going to read this to you. I desired to know why one person was ailing and his associate eating at the same table, working at the same shop, at the same bench was not. Why? What difference was there in these two persons that caused one to have various diseases while the other partner escaped? They were in the same place. They were working the same job, breathing the same air, touching the same materials. If the germ theory was true, these people both would have gotten sick. And his son, D.D. Palmer, the developer of chiropractic, he said this, and I love this. I agree with this. If the germ theory were true, if the germ theory of disease were correct, there'd be no one living to believe it. And what he's saying essentially is, if that's how it happened, you got exposed to the germ, you get sick, then basically everybody would be dead by now. So why is that not the case? Well, because it's not taking into account the strength of the host. There's the strength of the germ, which you have to acknowledge, the strength of the pathogen, but it's not taking into account the strength of the host. Why does one person get sick being exposed to it, and one person being exposed to a virus doesn't even get any symptoms and they're not sick at all? It's because of your internal environment. And you see, with chiropractic care, we are more concerned about strengthening our internal environment and strengthening the body than we are being concerned about the external circumstances. And that's where the real power lies. The real power lies is inside of your body. And that's why I want to talk about the immune system, because, and this was what really excites me, and this is what really jacks me up, because if you understand this and you get this on a really deep level, it takes away a lot of fear. It takes away a lot of confusion about disease. But God put the most amazing healing power inside of your body. And what has been designed to protect humans for 10,000 years now that we've been in existence, or whatever exactly it is that, you know, we've always been coming into contact with bacteria, with viruses, with parasites, with fungi. And yet we still are, you know, here we still are, only a couple hundred years into modern medicine, but we're 10,000 years down the road and we're still alive and we're thriving pretty good. And that is because God put an amazing healing power inside of the body. He gave you an immune system to fight off even powerful bugs, powerful viruses, and we're still able to survive, and not just survive, we're able to thrive. So what is your immune system? Sorry, I got a little excited there. Sometimes I go on a little bit of a rampage, but that's just how cool the body is. But the immune system, it's a collection of cells and coordination of processes inside of your body that when you get exposed to these pathogens, it is designed to protect you. So your skin, even your lungs, your white blood cells, your immune cells, your T cells, your B cells, your natural killer cells, your macrophages, all these different cells in your body. So let's say you got a virus here, right? You got a virus and it comes into contact with you. Your body, it's so smart, it immediately signals and responds that there is something foreign, can't recognize it, looks bad, signals to its other cells saying, hey, we need to recognize this thing, remember it, and destroy it. And that's basically what it does. And then it takes this, after it signals all the cells to kill it, kill this virus, it will then remember what that structure was. So the next time that you come into contact with it, it will recognize it even quicker and destroy it even faster. So you don't even get symptoms, so that you don't even have to get sick. And you got long-term, not short-term, but to that strain, you would have long-term, a lot of times lifelong immunity because you got sick or because you got exposed to it. You don't even necessarily have to feel sick. But that's how powerful your immune system is. And that's how, and I love looking at this like this, because this is a great way to overcome fear when you understand how powerful you are. I'm a Christian guy, and one of my favorite Bible verses is, greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. And I apply it to this situation about being sick. So greater is he that is in you. Greater is the healing power that is in you. Greater is the immune system that God gave you than he that is in the world. Greater than the bug, greater than the germ. You're more powerful than the germ. And when we live in alignment with God's healing principles and remove interference and live a natural, holistic lifestyle, we can fight off tons and tons of viruses and live a thriving, healthy, abundant life. So, awesome. We've got some other things that we want to talk about apart from the immune system. And I want to talk about some of the approaches right now that we're taking. So I'll talk a little bit about COVID-19, talk a little bit about some of the measures being taken. And what I want to do is I want to give you some facts, look at things logically. What are the proposed, action steps right now that they say we should be doing? And then kind of move past that, and what are some helpful things that we can do to actually really build our immune system? Because if you look at the recommendations right now, they're telling us to wear a mask. They're telling us to stay at home. They're telling us to, well, it's not stay at home anymore, but it was, right? Stay home, don't come into contact with people, social distancing, wear a mask, and then they're also working on this vaccine. But that's a whole nother story. So here's the problem with those things right off the bat, is that, do any of those things actually make you healthier? Do any of those things actually boost your immune system or actually make you a healthier person? And the answer is no. So they're not looking at strengthening the host. They're still focused outside in. They're still focused on the external environment a lot. And we're going to break down that a little bit. So that actually fits, that reactive approach or that external outside in approach, that fits into the disease model that we talked about last week. The health model says, hey, let's strengthen the host. And none of those things actually strengthen the host. In fact, if we break it down a little bit, several of those things actually long-term will weaken the host. So let's talk about masks a little bit. And this is not a mask debate. This is not shaming anybody. This is not telling anybody to do anything. This is just looking at this perspectively. So with the masks, there are some concerns that we need to be aware of, because long-term mask wearing, it is absolutely irrefutable, will lower your oxygen intake. And oxygen, that's one of our 4 essentials. That's oxygen and exercise. It's the most abundant nutrient that we have to be getting into our body. So anything that's going to be lowering your oxygen intake is not strengthening your immune system. It is therefore weakening your immune system. Now, if somebody is, symptomatic, diagnosed, they have the virus, they're symptomatic, they're sneezing, they're coughing, they are, spit talking or something, will a mask be able to block some of that saliva and that spit and, be beneficial in that scenario? Yes, absolutely. However, long-term mask wearing is going to deprive oxygen levels. I've seen plenty of cases of people, getting headaches, getting concentration issues, getting confusion, getting anxiety attacks from these, and even passing out, especially while exercising. That is incredibly dangerous to be exercising with these masks on. So long term, it is irrefutable that it is not strengthening your immune system. However, I want to look at another part of it too, and that is the symptomatic versus the asymptomatic people, because we're talking a little bit about COVID-19. We're talking about viruses. There's still a significant amount of people that are concerned about the virus. And I'm hoping my goal really here is to empower you with some confidence. When you know more about something, it's a lot less scary the more you know kind of how it works. Like if you had an enemy and you know its tactics and you know what weapons that it uses and you know where it typically attacks from, that's a lot less scary than like these surprise attacks that just come out of nowhere because you can't protect yourself. So that's kind of why we're talking about this. But looking at, I want to look at asymptomatic people right now, because one of the things that is very unique and unprecedented, literally, with COVID-19 is the concern and the fear of asymptomatic people. I've never seen this before in any, even much deadlier viruses, because COVID-19, although a new virus, which is spread quickly, it's a virus. It looks like a virus. It smells like a virus. It acts like a virus. It tastes like a virus. It's a virus. So it doesn't have some weird superpower. We know how it replicates, and we know how it acts. I'm going to ask you a question. When in history have we ever put mandates or concerns or fear of creating a pandemic with asymptomatic people? I just can't recall. It just doesn't make sense. And here's why. Not only just years of, just common knowledge of disease spread, but even just looking at the research, it is said that it is, in quote, extremely rare for asymptomatic spread. In fact, this is one thing that I do agree with Dr. Fossey on, is that he says it's extremely rare for asymptomatic spread. Asymptomatic people do not cause pandemics. Asymptomatic people are not generating the spread of a virus. So, how is this thing being transmitted? Well, through air particles, through the air with moisture from your breath, right? However, I took this from the CDC website. In order for you to have a likely chance of getting it, you would have to be face-to-face contact, so within your 6 feet space, face-to-face, for at least 15 consistent minutes. That's what they're saying. Some of the other studies say at least 30 minutes, but I'm just being very conservative. Face-to-face, 15 minutes with a symptomatic person that who's expressing symptoms. So if you do not meet those guidelines, then you have a very low risk, or what I would even use their terminology, extremely rare possibility of getting the virus. So that is why it does not make a lot of sense for asymptomatic people to be doing these measures that are not building their health, but can actually be deterring their immune system. And even if you did get the virus, the updated mortality rate is 0.2% for COVID-19. So with that, just a few months ago, we were seeing numbers that were incredibly high. And it wasn't until a month or two ago, the CDC came out and they said, they apologized. They said the numbers that they had given were inaccurate, and that only 6% of the original numbers that were given were actually due to COVID-19 alone. So 94% of the numbers that they were telling you on the TV for months were completely false, or not due to just COVID-19. Many of those were assumed cases, along with many people that had multiple health issues, multiple comorbidities, and they either died with assumed COVID-19 or they died with due to comorbidities existing with having COVID, but not actually from COVID-19. So that brought the death rate down so much lower to like 0.2%, which is much more reasonable and makes a lot more sense with what we know about viruses, with what we know about what the flu. And being a practitioner, I've talked to a lot of chiropractors, I've talked to a lot of nurses, I've talked to some doctors. And so, we've been open since day one of this thing. We haven't taken a week off. I've adjusted people every single week. So, I've talked to tons and tons of people. I've done over 8,000 adjustments in the period of the time frame when it first started, and we're just not seeing the cases. The nurses in the hospitals in the Raleigh area, they're not seeing the cases. They don't know what's going on, and what we're seeing on TV is not matching up with what the frontline health practitioners and nurses are telling me. And so then when they released the CDC statement about the inflated numbers and the number being down significantly, it made a lot more sense to us, to where the mortality rate is closer to a true 0.2%. So breaking that down just a little bit further, if you get COVID, you have a 99.8% chance of living. And if, in fact, people over 70 years old are the majority of the people that have the higher percentage. So basically, if you're under 70 and you get COVID-19, you have virtually a 100% chance of surviving from the virus. So when you take all these things into account, the more accurate, I don't want to say a true mortality rate, because getting exact numbers is nearly impossible, but a much more accurate mortality rate, understanding how this virus is transmitted, understanding how diseases have worked in the past, understanding that the measures being taken are very reactive and somewhat harmful, and that nothing is really boosting the immune system. This really paints a picture that we can hopefully sleep a little bit easier, hopefully breathe a little bit easier, take some stress off. Don't be negligent. I'm not saying be ignorant. I'm not saying be negligent. I'm not saying being inconsiderate. In fact, this should help you with the knowledge that you have now. Not only help you and your family more, but also still be considerate of other people and how they're choosing to respond to this virus as well. So I love just looking at the power of the immune system, and hope that you gain some good knowledge out of this. Now I want to talk about, okay, so now that we've got some understanding, how can we start building this immune system up? And I love this Masterclass series. It says fearless, building a fearless immunity. And, that just goes to, not that you're never scared of anything, but when you trust God and you trust the design of the body and the power that he put inside of your body, you can live a lot more stress-free, empowered life. So I just love the name of this series called Fearless Immunity. So how are we going to boost our immune system? Well, we talked about these last week. We're going to continue to dive into these things. We do it through the 5 essentials. So a few of them that we're going to hit on tonight. First one that I want to talk about is chiropractic care. Before I go into that, hopefully you guys have gained something. If you've already gotten your one of your huge takeaways, I'd love to hear it from you. If you are getting something, your action step, your takeaway, let us know. Let's hear the comments, because we want you to apply some of this stuff. And if you know somebody that needs to hear this, you're like, oh my goodness, they should have been on this class tonight, share the video with them, text them, drag them over, and they can watch it too. So chiropractic. What about chiropractic is going to help you build an immune system, prevent bacteria, viral infections? Well, I want to share with you that last week we talked about chiropractic, not about a pain relieving treatment, but we talked about immune system or a central nervous system optimizing procedure or protocol or practice that allows your body to heal from the inside out, allows your body and your brain to control your body and optimize all body function. And so with that being said, I want to share how chiropractic played into a past pandemic. In fact, the 1918 in the United States, the Spanish flu wiped through. And this was considered to be even more devastating than COVID-19 has been in America. And I don't know how true these numbers are, but it says that 675,000 Americans died of the Spanish flu during that time. And going to chiropractic care with it, optimizing healing and optimizing body function and immune system, how it played into it was in Davenport, Iowa. They looked at people with the flu that were treated with medical care, and they compared them with a group of people that were treated with chiropractic care. So 50 medical doctors treated 4,953 people, and it resulted in 274 people dying, 274 deaths. Compared to the chiropractic group, 150 chiropractors adjusted 1,635 people. And get this, 1,600 people, only one person died of the flu. So I did a little bit of math. I'm like, what's the ratio there? What's the ratio? So in the medical group, 1 in 18 people died. In the chiropractic group, 1 in 1,600 people died. That is a drastic difference, and it just feeds into the power of chiropractic. And that is why, actually, it's one of the big reasons that chiropractic gained a lot of popularity in the early 1900s. It was such a significant outlook or outcome that it actually helped propel our profession to help people and really spread chiropractic. And that is why during, like, whether it be a pandemic or times where people are concerned, chiropractic care is not some back cracking, joint popping, pain relief. It is helping babies, women, children, the elderly, and especially the elderly. They're at the highest risk. This is where people need to be getting adjusted on a regular basis, improve the immune system, and significantly lower their risk of not only getting infection, but of course, succumbing to and dying from the infection. And that is why chiropractic care is not just a luxury, it's literally a necessity to be taking care of your spine and your nerve system if you want to be the healthiest person. So I love that. Plays a significant role on our health. And of course, nutrition, right? I mean, it is unbelievable when people poo-poo, negate, downplay how important the right types of foods are. There's a question that I believe was asked some of the candidates about why COVID-19 hit America so much harder than every other country. And it's like, well, you can blame this person, this person for doing this. You can blame this person for not doing this. But how about calling it out for what it is? Like, it doesn't matter what your reactive approaches did and didn't do. They probably would have been mute to the point that America, the United States, has the sickest, most overweight, over-medicated population. There's no coincidence, there's no surprise that we have been affected more, or that it's spread more from it here, because we eat the worst, crappiest food, don't take care of ourselves. We are over-drugged, over-stressed, over-busy. So, there's your answers, is we have more, degenerative diseases, and people that already have comorbidities. No wonder they're going to be more susceptible. So that's why the 5 essentials, these are lifestyle diseases that we can overcome. Chiropractic care is one of them, but fueling your body with high quality nutrients cannot be overlooked. And one of the worst things that you can do to weaken your immune system is reading some of the comments on here. I'm loving it. Thanks for the engagement, guys. One of the worst things that you can do for your immune system is sugar. Sugar is just your number one way to weaken your immune system. It's an anti-nutrient. It feeds cancer. It leads to inflammation in the body. And when you eat sugar, you're just increasing your likelihood and your susceptibility to getting infection. So if you are somebody who is legitimately saying that you are concerned about contracting the virus or getting this virus, or other ones for that matter, then your action steps should be to, now that you know this, or if you didn't already, your action steps then would be, in turn, to be a congruent person, would be to significantly lower, if not eliminate, your sugar consumption. But if you say you're concerned, but you continue to drink sodas and eat lots of carbs and sugar, then the truth is you're really not that concerned about it. So if you want to boost your immune system, be healthier, and decrease your likelihood of illness, cutting the carbohydrates and the sugars is going to be your best thing that you can do nutritionally, on top of adding good quality nutrients into your diet on a daily basis. And with Max Living, we have 2 awesome plans to follow. We've got the core plan and the advanced plan. We've got the core plan and the advanced plan. I like to repeat them just for memory. Core plan and the advanced plan. Core plan, they're very similar plans, and I'm just going to break them down very quickly, is that as a general rule, and there's a lot of different diets out there, but as a general, for a lot of people, lowering the carbohydrate intake is very important to reducing inflammation, moderate protein intake, higher fat intake. This is a great way to reduce inflammation in the body. And the key really is more quality of foods than it is quantity of foods. So when it comes to like the protein and the fats, you're going to be, because carbs are pretty easy. You cut the carbs and you clean up the carb. You literally don't eat a lot of carbohydrates. You cut a lot of the fruits, because fruits are really high in sugar. And, you know, you do maybe some healthier grains, like organic whole grains, quinoa, some ancient grain stuff, but not a ton of grains, or not a lot of, because that's a lot of sugar. But you can have some of that with quality proteins, like give you a few examples: organic grass-fed beef, organic pasture-raised chicken, organic pasture-raised eggs, wild-caught salmon. That's a few. Raw nuts and seeds. These are a few powerhouse examples of what quality protein means. And then quality fats, not toxic fats, not canola oil, not corn oil, not soybean oil, not these high-pressed, high-heated oils. We're talking grass-fed organic butter, real butter. Raw is best if you can find it. Organic coconut oil, unrefined, organic olive oil, organic avocado oil. These are going to be your high-quality fats and moderate amount of proteins. You're going to load up on more fats, small amount of carbohydrate load. That's basically your core plan in a nutshell. If you need more details, you go to your Align Your Health book, which if you're a patient in the office, many of you have already. Align Your Health. Otherwise, if you do not have that, you can go on to our website and you can go to Freedom Family. Let's see if I can pull this up. Sweet. freedomfamilychiro.com. And I believe you can order the Align Your Health book on our website if you do not have it, or you're watching this out of state somewhere. But that's the core plan. That's your basic maintenance healthy eating plan. Now, if you're ramping it up and you're really wanting to lose weight, really protect yourself even more so, reduce inflammation, overcome a degenerative disease, that's where you're going to be doing an advanced plan. Advanced plan, this is where you're cutting out all the sugars. No grains, all fruits except for berries and Granny Smith apples, because fruits have a lot of sugar in it. And then you are doing even a little bit, that's probably the biggest thing, is you're cutting out all sugars, even the healthy grains on the advanced plan. Again, high quality healthy fats, high quality moderate amount of protein, and you're cutting out all the sugars. You do that for as long as it takes to reach your health goal. And then some people, they go to the core plan, introduce a few grains and a few fruits and stuff, but still keeping it low carb. And some people stay on the advanced plan for a lifetime. It's something it is sustainable. There's a lot of healthy alternatives that you can do. And it tastes good and it's fun. We just had a recipe night not too long ago and people loved it. Some of them couldn't even tell that it was healthy desserts. So we've got to be focusing on our nutrition if we want to improve our immune system and build health. Some people do keto. You can do advanced. So you can do keto on the advanced plan. So basically it's called advanced plan keto. It's the healthiest way to do keto because it's about quality. Some people do keto the wrong way and they can get into these ratios, 60 to 70% fat, 20, 30% protein, 5% carbs, but they're doing it with garbage food. It's called nasty keto or unsustainable. It's called cancer building keto. If you're eating, terrible quality food, you could still lose weight and be building disease at the same time. So you want to do keto healthy, then you can do advanced plan keto or high quality foods with keto. It's just a little side note. All right. Oxygen and exercise. Not going to spend too much time on here because, I mean, everybody and their brother knows that you've got to be moving your body for a healthy lifestyle, whether it be walking, getting out, getting fresh air, functional fitness movements, something that you're doing regularly to oxygenate your tissues, your lungs, your cells. And last week on week 1, we talked about high intensity interval training. And we do a workout called Max T3. I explained it in a little bit more detail last week. Again, if you didn't watch it, go back and hit week 1 up on the exercise, oxygen and exercise. One of the studies on exercise that I did want to share was that they looked at people that did 5 or more days of aerobic exercise, and people that did 5 or more days of aerobic exercise, they decreased their risk of upper respiratory infections by 40%. That's incredible. That's a significant decrease. So you work out regularly, you decrease your likelihood of getting sick. So you want to do that. That's going to be a powerful way. Plus, I mean, all other health measures are improved when you work out on a regular basis too. So if you're a patient in the office, you have the Max T3 workout, or most of you do. Again, if you do not have it, you can go to our website. You can go to freedomfamilychiro.com and you can get the Max T3 on there as well. I think it's only like $19. There's like 14 awesome workouts on there. And they're really quick. They're like 12-minute workouts. So if you're looking for a way to get fit and you need some help and you don't want to design your own workouts, you can pick up the Max T3 on our website. But you got to be moving your body regardless. Mindset. Just by getting on this call tonight and hearing this information, you're already improving your mindset. So give yourselves a big round of applause just for getting on the call tonight, because how you think about your health and the things that you learn empower you. And when you're empowered, just knowing about how to maneuver in this health world, it just relieves stress and it gives you tools that can equip you. So that's it's just your mindset on how you think about your health is really, really important. That's one of our key essentials, because all of your action steps, all your workouts, all your nutrition, all your chiropractic exercises and adjustments, they all follow your mindset and how you think about your health. Last thing that I want to cover tonight, I'm going to finish hopefully close to being on time this week, is immune supporting nutrients. So we talked a little bit about nutrition, broke down the basics on the core plan and the advanced plan. I want to go over some key supplements and how these can drastically help your immune system and overcoming, not only preventing illness, but when you are sick, how do you get over that sickness faster? Vitamin D3, the number one supplement that we recommend, probably the top selling supplement, flies off the shelf all year round, pretty much every month, vitamin D3. 42% of you Americans are deficient in vitamin D. This is very conservative. I've seen stats that say 90% of Americans are deficient. So I don't know what the levels are, but let's just say a lot of people are deficient in vitamin D3. And vitamin D3 deficient has been shown to hinder the immune response and therefore increase your likelihood of developing illness, not just infectious disease, but cancer. Vitamin D3 is one of the most important cancer-killing supplements that you possibly can take. Side note, next week, talking about cancer, we'll give you a little bit more details. It's National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But anyways, for viruses, immune system, Vitamin D3, one of the most powerful supplements that you can take. And here's the other thing. The only other way, the reason why I say that even more so than vitamin C is because vitamin C, you could load up on a bunch of like strawberries and spinach and some lower sugar fruits that have a lot of vitamin C in it. There's not a lot of foods that have vitamin D3. So that's why it's really important to get it from supplementation. The only other way is from the sun, and most people are indoors way too often. Most people are inside like all day long, get very little sunlight, which is why they're so deficient in vitamin D. So if you take vitamin D on a regular basis, get your levels up, you're going to be helping your immune system. Next, kind of talked about it a little bit already, but I want to get into a couple of specifics. One of my favorites is vitamin C. And vitamin C is a powerful antioxidant, and it has been shown to help reduce the duration of illness by 17%. So almost 20%. So if you were going to be sick for 5 days, you load up on vitamin C, it will help you get over it basically a day earlier. But also is a great preventative measure. Vitamin C is a water soluble, so you can do whatever the recommended daily dosage is on there. You can go up super high with that and see some really, really incredible quick improvements. Like sometimes I take 1,000, 2,000% of the daily recommended average of vitamin C, and it's not going to do any harm to you. So vitamin C is super powerful for the immune system. Zinc, you guys have probably heard a lot about this one. I think this is one that President Trump supposedly took when he got COVID. But even before that, like Dr. Pompa and Dr. Josh Axe and a lot of these big, I think Dr. Oz was even talking about it. Don't quote me on that, but it's been all over the news and stuff too, like how important zinc is. And this is an essential nutrient that you do need to consume. Your body doesn't make it. And not only does it reduce the duration of your sickness by 33%, which would cut your recovery time down significantly, but recent studies have shown that it also is important in preventing illness as well. Important thing with zinc is that I've been told that you do want to take it with some other nutrients to help with absorption. Just recently, Max Living has come out with a zinc plus supplement. A lot of people have been asking about it. Yes, it is available. It is here. I'll show you how you can order it in a second if you want to pick up some zinc. Last one that I want to talk about here is elderberry and echinacea. So been hearing a lot of buzz about elderberry the last couple of years here, but it's been used for a very, very long time to help with infectious diseases and help people overcome things much faster. So elderberry syrup is very, very powerful, loaded with antioxidants, and will help the immune system. Echinacea, this comes from a flower that's in the daisy category of flowers, and this has been shown to reduce the duration of sickness by 1.5 days and reduce the likelihood of getting sick by 50%. So that means it has a great preventative measure. So if you take echinacea, you have, I believe, 50% less chance of getting the infection. So these are great herbs, some great, elderberry is a great compound and syrup that you can do, but it also can come in a powder form, I believe. And I want to show you a couple supplements that are available. So this is the Max Living Immunity Bundle. It's got the Zinc Plus that we talked about. That's highly absorbable form of it. My favorite, vitamin D3 and probiotics. Of course, vitamin C is a very popular supplement. People have known that for forever. You don't really have to sell people on the power of vitamin D and vitamin C too much anymore these days, which is good. because it's very beneficial. Then you got the IM support. That's got the elderberry and the echinacea in it, along with some other herbs. So if you're really looking to boost your immune system right now during this season, you can pick up the Max Living Immunity Bundle. It is on the website. You can go to freedomfamilychiro.com. It's actually 10% off on the website tonight as well. If you want to order it in the office, you can do that too. That'll be 10% off. Just mention, hey, I was on the Masterclass. Can I please get the 10% discount? Just mention you're on the Masterclass, and this week it will be 10% off. Otherwise, you can order it online. We'll ship it to your house. It's 10% off online this week as well. So that's sweet that it matched up like that. So week 2 complete. Week 2, viruses, immune system. And hope you guys got some great stuff on there. I'm going to look at the comments here, see if you guys are paying attention. See if you've not placed your comment on here still, we'd love to hear from you what some of your takeaways were. And if there's questions on here, the team and I, we can respond to some of those as well. Again, if you've been on these 2 weeks, then only 4 more weeks until you get your certificate and your t-shirt for the Masterclass. Next week, week 3, we're going to be talking about cancer awareness. Again, I mentioned October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We can't forget about that. And not only are we going to be talking about ways that you can help with cancer, but more importantly, how to prevent yourself and your family from getting it in the first place. Again, I'm going to encourage you, please share this. If you found this beneficial, share this video with somebody, send it to a friend, link them in, and that way we can help a lot more people. I'll see you next week for week 3, cancer awareness, week 3 of the Fearless Immunity Masterclass. I'll talk to you guys really soon.